Welcome to the Histories of Northamptonshire podcast series, and this episode number 4. Recorded on location, each episode tells the story of one of the many and varied objects which are the focus of the exhibition A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects. The exhibition runs at the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery between the 20th of September 2025 and February 2026. Selected by local individuals, heritage groups and the museum's own curators, each object tells a different story from the county's past. And so, to our guest for this episode. And I'm out on my travels again for this series of podcasts, telling the stories of Northamptonshire through 100 objects. As you can perhaps hear, there is birdsong, there is the breeze across the microphone, and I'm in the countryside. 2025 saw the release of a brand new blockbuster movie in the franchise of Jurassic Park. And I've come to a time which certainly saw Jurassic history and is itself a park. It is Irchester Country Park, and I've come to talk about dinosaurs. Hello, who are you and what is your interest in this particular artefact?
My name's Steve Pulley and I'm retired, I'm a granddad, and I come over here with my grandson Cody quite a lot, and we go exploring and looking for nature. One particular day, we were just talking, walking, and when you talk to a 3-year-old, inevitably you have to look down at the ground. So we're walking along, holding hands and chatting, and we stepped over a big rock, and that big rock suddenly stopped me. What I thought I'd seen here in Northamptonshire, I'd seen on the Isle of Wight, and it was a dinosaur footprint cast. Cody and I stopped and he looked at it and his expression was, wow. And he wanted then to tread on it, which is fine, and measure his foot against the size of the dinosaur. And it was great. It was a great experience between a granddad and a grandson.
Is Northamptonshire known for dinosaurs? Because I'm assuming you've become a bit of an expert now.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert. It's just that since finding this, I've read an awful lot about it. Now, Northamptonshire is not known for dinosaur footprints, and this is the first ever evidence found of a dinosaur presence in Northamptonshire.
Which is why we're standing outside in Irchester Country Park, because the dinosaur footprint is directly underneath us. It looks about half a metre across, something like that. Yep. It looks as though it's made of stone, and Irchester is famous for ironstone. So is this a dinosaur footprint made from Northamptonshire ironstone?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. At Irchester, 170 million years ago, where we're standing now, we'll be looking out over a vast sea. Down the coast a little bit is Northampton, and up here where we are is Irchester, all at the seaside. Most local people don't realise that we're at the seaside. If we look over the inlet of this big sea, Kettering, again, would be at the seaside over there. And there's rivers coming in and feeding into the sea. Now those rivers are bringing in sediment, which is an iron-rich sediment. All this sediment is coming from a supercontinent called Pangaea, and we were just on the edge of that. The time that this dinosaur footprint was laid down was a really different time to where we are now.
So from the seaside, we have a dinosaur that was walking around, presumably compressed the ground, and over a period of millions of years, the sediment then formed what is now the footprint we see in front of us.
Exactly. The sediment fills the actual footprint of the dinosaur, and then it just hardens over time. Erosion happens around that sediment, and the ground disappears, and it leaves a 3-dimensional cast of the actual dinosaur's footprint.
What can we tell about the dinosaur, given that we haven't got the dinosaur's remains, but what can we tell about the dinosaur from the footprint?
We can tell its height. We can tell that they were here. It's proof that dinosaurs were in Northamptonshire. Because now we've found 4 or 5 of these dinosaur footprints in Irchester Country Park, some are different sizes. So we can actually tell that there was a family of dinosaurs pretty much where we're standing now, 170 million years ago. This dinosaur, it would have been 3 meters high, up to its hip, and then if it raised up to attack or just have a look around, it would have been up to 5 meters high. Now that's higher than a double-decker bus.
At the moment, my brain is slightly turning itself inside out. Number one, because I'm trying to get my head around the fact that Northamptonshire used to have a coastline and the sea. Now we're talking about dinosaurs taller than double-decker buses. Do we know what the dinosaur was called? Do we know what its lifestyle was? Are we a million miles away from Tyrannosaurus Rex?
We're actually 100 million years before Tyrannosaurus Rex. This is a really old meat-eating dinosaur. It's called a Megalosaurus, and it was a ferocious beast. I think when it laid down the footprint, it was scavenging along the beach to see what it could find.
So scavenging for live prey? Are we talking about an apex predator, that kind of a dinosaur?
Yeah, it's an apex predator, but a meal's a meal. So if it found something dead on the coastline, it would eat it. You would not want to come into contact with one of these. It was a fierce beast.
I believe Megalosaurus is one of the first dinosaurs ever to have been given a name. And there are quite a few species of Megalosaurus.
It was first named in the 19th century, and I think it means great lizard. And it was the first officially named dinosaur in the world. But the fact that it is similar to T-Rex makes it very interesting indeed. When we first found this, I contacted the Natural History Museum to get confirmation before I told the rangers what was going on. And they came back within 24 hours in the museum and confirmed it. And I remember saying to my wife, this is massive. We have just proved that dinosaurs actually lived and walked in Northamptonshire. It had never been done before.
And you had literally stumbled across this. You hadn't been looking for it. With the greatest of respect, you're an amateur. You don't know about dinosaurs, or at least you didn't until you found this.
Absolutely. We weren't looking for it, but because I've been to the Isle of Wight numerous times, these footcasts are quite famous over there. I'd seen them and I knew what they were. And that's why when I stepped over this one, I looked at it in disbelief and I thought, no, it can't be. But it was.
I understand that very few actual remains of Megalosaurus have been found, although there is reference to them just over the county border in Oxfordshire. That would absolutely place Northamptonshire, or what we now call Northamptonshire, in an area where dinosaurs would have been free roaming. Why particularly on the coast? Is there any indication as to why that would be the case?
The continent Pangaea, where they were in Oxfordshire, was corroding, it was fragmenting, and the animals were just searching for food. They were wanderers, so they didn't stay in one particular area, and it was all about survival and food.
You found this particular footprint with Cody, your grandson. You found other footprints as well. Is there a particular way of recognising these things, or do you just happen across them?
We've recently found what we believe are 2 more with my other grandson Jake. The telltale sign of these things, to identify them, is that they have 3 toes. Meat-eating dinosaurs, the theropods, always have 3 toes. It's such a distinctive shape when you look at them that it doesn't look natural, it doesn't look right. So there's something that makes you stop and look at it.
So Steve, having found this, are you Northamptonshire's dino hunter with Cody?
I'm not, but Cody became quite famous over this. The BBC picked up the story and it went viral worldwide, and he was declared an official dinosaur hunter, which was amazing. He became a bit of a local celebrity at his school and everything like that. Me, no, I'm just somebody who's interested in it. I expect we will find more over here, but it will take time.
This cast, this footprint, is currently sitting in the atmosphere. What happens next, and what happens to you in terms of hunting more dinosaur remains?
Well, I'll continue coming over here with Cody and Jake, and we will continue to try to find more. It's an exciting thing to do. We hope that the park, Irchester Country Park, can get some funding to arrange for them to be formally displayed. At the moment, they're available to view on request.
We have evidence that Megalosaurus roamed what we now call Northamptonshire. What we don't yet have is the evidence of Megalosaurus in terms of a fossil of a skeleton or something like that. But we're talking about something taller than a double-decker bus that weighed something in the order of a metric ton. Imagine meeting that on your travels, and never mind what the movies tell you. Steve, it is a fabulous story. It's one for the imagination. What does Cody think about all of this?
Cody was so excited. It's a big thing for a 3-year-old to be officially named a dinosaur hunter, and it's a big thing for his granddad as well. What I find really strange about this is that 170 million years ago, a dinosaur made a decision that actually directly affects what we're doing. That dinosaur decided to walk along a certain route, make the footprints, the casts were made, I found it, and then we're here talking about it to make a podcast. Now, if that dinosaur had walked to the left or the right, chances are it would not have made the footprints. Therefore, you and I wouldn't be talking now.
Steve, we're standing in a fairly secure compound. We've got trees about 60 feet above us. I can almost imagine something coming, wandering up and sticking its head over the compound railing. Think about the visitor to Irchester Country Park from 160 million years and more ago, and then imagine what it might have been like to come up close and personal to one of those today. Steve, it's a fantastic story. Thank you for telling it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you for listening to this Histories of Northamptonshire podcast. If you would like to find out more about the objects or listen to other episodes in the series, go to www.northamptonmuseums.com. Alternatively, you can visit the Northampton Museum and Art Gallery, where you can see the A History of Northamptonshire in 100 Objects exhibition for yourself. The Histories of Northamptonshire project is funded by Arts Council England as part of the National Portfolio Programme.